Good evening, my brothers. This is Brother Jamala, also known as Brother Soldier 4D. I would like to welcome you and say once again we're going to pick up another topic here. We talked about the seeds of the sower in the 13th chapter of Matthew and how that relates to some of the struggle. We talked a little bit about the shedding of the blood of the masses of our people and not to portray that in the previous video. In this one, we're going to look at what men can do better than just mere goodness. Just what is something that men can do better? Okay, and I talked a little bit about this on one previous topic, but this one is more geared towards the social justice. Social justice is something that is needed in any society. Social justice is something that transcends religion. In other words, you don't have to be a preacher. You don't have to be a Christian. You don't have to be a Muslim. You don't have to be a Jew or Hindu or Buddhist. You don't have to be any of these to minister social justice. You can be all of these. You can be atheist. You can be agnostic. You can be any of these things that I just said, plus others, and still be involved in social justice. Social justice is not limited to anybody's faith, anybody's religion. Social justice is something needed for all humans. So I say that to clear the air that I understand that there are good people who are not Christians. There are good people who are not Muslim. There are good people in all walks of life. Just as there are bad people in all walks of life. People that violate the rights of others. Some of them are titled Christians. Some of them are titled Jews. Some of them are titled Muslim. That violate the rights of others. Maybe they're not practicing Christians, practicing Jews, and practicing Muslims. But they're titled. I said they were titled. And then you have atheists that uphold a high moral code. I just want the believers to know that there's some atheists out here that I've talked to them. I've debated with atheists before in my past, in my personal life. Koreans and European that do not believe God. But I learned that they held a high moral code. Very interesting. Something, I was a young man, I'm much younger, maybe 30 years back. They held a high moral code. I come to find out that they're vegetarians. They don't kill animals to eat. They don't believe in killing and taking human life. And you have to understand that even though you're a Christian or you say that you're this or that, there are more people out here besides what you profess, what we profess. And that's why I say that when you come to this platform, you can sit in and listen. You may not agree with what Brother Soldier says and the way my faith is. You don't have to. You really don't have to. But because of my walk and my conviction that I don't wish to impose, but I wish to enlighten, inspire, and warn because of what I know in the spirit world and what I've been shared with in the spiritual realm, in the things that I have sought truth and made very many sacrifices, and then I have to come out and break bread with my brothers and tell them, if I feel like there's an error of their way, only a brother that loves you will teach you about the error of your way. I'm not trying to get you to come over, join me. I just want you to get to know God in a personal way in your relationship, in your walk, not your religion. I'm not trying to get you to come to Pentecost. I'm not trying to get you to come to the apostolic necessarily. I want you to get to have a personal relationship with God. That on our journey to social justice and our journey to help humanity, help mankind, that you also experience the beauty and the fragrance of the invisible God. Some people say that God is a killer, that God's killed people in the Old Testament. They don't want to have anything to do with it. I heard you. I heard you. I heard you. But if they say that God is a just God and that God is a righteous God, and you say elsewise that he's not because of that, that's where you stand. Me, I'm just the kind of guy that I'm like, I don't know everything from the beginning to the end. I'm finite. I have no omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresence ability. I can't speak for the souls and all the people that came before me. I can only account for this generation that I'm in. And the things that I've acquired in my experiences, I shed light and I share and I break bread with my brothers, whether they want to believe it or not. It doesn't matter. So, what am I saying? I'm saying that social justice is something we all can do, and you're not excused for putting your part in. When you see slave descendants, you should speak out. When you see people going into slavery, you should speak out no matter what your faith is. When you see your brother being colonized, or human beings being colonized in other countries, and you have the ability and the military ability to say something about it, you should say something about it. That's why I said justice transcends religion. That's why when people want to tell me that we were Hebrews, like we were Moorish, or we were all of these different things, where were they when we was in bondage for 400 something years? What did you do about it? Did you send some warships to us? I don't want to hear about what we were, because as far as I'm concerned, all of them were practicing dirty religion and dirty faith, because you turned a deaf ear and a blind eye to what you saw, and you kept going in your faith. You kept going to the synagogue. You kept going to the temple. You kept going to the church while people were getting hung, lynched, and burned. So I don't want to hear about your religion in that time and what we were. I told you, people can practice and be a confessing Christian and be practicing the devil's work. You'll be a confessing Muslim and practicing murder and hatred. You can be a confessing Jew and denying the very goodness that God is sending your way because of your flesh and your wicked ways. So, Christian, a Jew, and a Muslim will be known by their actions. And what they have written, that's what they'll be judged by. So, everybody can take a part in human and social justice. Everybody can take a part in it. Don't take just a Christian minister. So everybody, we can intersect at those roads, those crossroads, and we can come together for the sake of humanity, no matter what you are, an atheist or you're a Christian. So when we talk about Pan-Africanism, we're talking about intersecting at those things that social justice should be able to serve for the people and to benefit the people. We're asking that you take a part in that. Not where you're divisive, but where you're uniting to make it better for others. If you have it good, you make it better for others to have it good. It's not just for one and not the other. So, if people don't care about Black Africans, they don't care about the struggle, they don't care about what we're going through, we have to do it for ourselves. And don't feel guilty because you're doing something for your own people and you're not doing it for the rest of the people. Like I say, Moses in that ministry and that God came for the children of Israel. He didn't come for all God's children. He didn't come for the children of Egypt. Because they had a situation where they didn't need that God at that time. The way the children of Israel needed him. And the way they were being treated by other people. Just like the Black African has special needs that God has to make a special message and arrangements for them. He's not calling all the rest of the people who are not getting kicked in their behind the same way. So I don't want to hear about God should do everything the same way to every people. It's not going to happen that way. Because like I said, the disease, a particular disease warrants a certain kind of cure. Cancer warrants a certain kind of cure. Pneumonia warrants a certain kind of cure. So you don't apply the same cure to every illness. It's not going to work. So anyway, justice, social justice, transcends religion and all that. So everybody can take a part in it. So when you sitting on your behind Pentecostal, tongue talking Pentecostal, while everybody else is out here bleeding, trying to get things better, don't condemn them because you want to talk about just the kingdom. You're going to benefit off of the spilled blood of many people while you sit in there and talk in tongues. Because you don't want to come to the table and fight and struggle like everybody else. See, you assemble in a nation under a particular flag. You carry a certain type of ID that says driver's license of who you are. They ask you who you are. You have your name on there. You have your race on there. And you have your height and your weight and any other relevant information. But they never ask you what your belief is. So anybody that kind of say they're a Christian first and they are a Black or African second or a Christian first and they are white and African second, you're lying. Nobody's going to identify you by your faith. They're going to identify you by your physical characteristics and your name and your nationality. That's what's on your passport. So try to act like you're a Christian first. Nobody going to deal with you. Only time you're going to be a Christian first is when something's coming that's about your faith that you have to make a decision about. That's a life and death decision or a decision about your soul going to hell, your soul not going to hell. Then you might be Christian first for that decision. Don't give me that. You put your work in society. I see it. Social justice transcends all religion, transcends all of that. So you do the work of God out here, just like you do in the house of God. You do the work of God out here too. Because you can go to hell, you believers. I'm talking to you believers now. You can go to hell for what you do out here. And for what you do inside the house of God. And just like you can go to the kingdom and go to heaven for what you do out here, just as well as what you do in the house of God. Don't try to act like everything you do in the house of God is all that matters. Because if that's the case, why are you going to go to hell for what you can do out here? You can go out here and party. You can go out here and commit fornication. You can do drugs, alcohol, adultery, homosexuality, and everything else that comes in the territory and still bust hell wide open. So anyway, I must close here and say social justice is everybody's responsibility. Peace, love, God bless you.